Dear Capcom, hey there, big fan. I have a suggestion. I think you guys should make a sequel to Monster Hunter Stories. I have a few reasons outlined here, but trust me, this game would be a very welcome addition to any RPG fan, and I think it would garner a lot of praise if you play your cards right. It could even get you a lot of money, and I know you crafty little yellow devils love money. Consider this. Monster Hunter World has been an absolutely huge success. It's the highest selling Capcom game ever. It pretty much surprised everyone. Critics, new players, old players, it's just a super popular game. And now with Generations Ultimate out on the Switch, Monster Hunter is at an all-time high in terms of popularity. There's thousands of new and old hunters hanging out together and getting involved in the community. While it takes years to develop a mainline Monster Hunter, a spin-off game such as Monster Hunter Stories can serve as a sort of stopgap between the inevitable Monster Hunter World Ultimate or sequel or whatever it may be called. And it wouldn't take nearly as long to develop, I bet. Hell, this isn't even super related, but don't forget about that Monster Hunter movie you guys have in the works. It's even being directed by that guy who makes all the other crappy video game movies. So there's no doubt that Monster Hunter is becoming a mainstream franchise in the West. It's no longer a niche title. Which brings me to Stories. Monster Hunter Stories was an astounding game. It had a lighthearted story with my favorite Rathalos, Rathy, a very solid battle system, online PvP, capturing monsters and building out your Pokedex, Monsterpedia, and even letting you play God gene splicing in a scenario where nobody was offended. It really is a delightful game, and I think that a sequel will be well worth your time and effort to create, especially if you make it multi-platform and have it be sort of a budget title and price like Mega Man 11 is. I even managed to write up a game plan for you guys, so here, check this out. New features. Monster Hunter Stories was the best Pokemon game that I've played in a very long time, so take advantage of the systems that you already have in place. I want to see more monsters, and I mean a lot more. 110 was in the first game, and that's a significant amount, sure, but you guys have an even larger catalog to draw from now. For example, look at Monster Hunter Online. I want to see Caesarbur, I want to see Akura Vishmu, I want to see Australian, I want to see all the exclusive monsters to Online. Give me more Elder Dragons too. Imagine finding Yamasukami or Lao Shen as a boss or something. And of course, we can't forget the new monsters from Monster Hunter World. Those should definitely be included. I don't think a graphical boost is super necessary with the HD assets, especially if the price point is under $30. Personally, I think the game looks great on my phone, which is probably stronger than a Switch. However, some new shaders would go a long way in bringing the game to life. A hint of bloom, some improved lighting, maybe a couple reworked textures. Bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself a game that doesn't look too shabby. I don't think the battle system needs to be changed too much, just more of an expansion. Obvious things to include would be like genes and combinations for your monsties, more attacks to learn, etc. Definitely add more weapons though. I'd love to see dual blades, insect glaives, longswords, maybe even bowguns added. I would also like to see more improvements for your monsties. For example, maybe some sort of friendship meter similar to Pokemon that improves over time and increases the bond you have with your monsties. By reaching a certain friendship level, maybe you can unlock new abilities or perks for that particular monstie. Oh, and team attacks. Definitely have team attacks, where if you have a certain combination of monsters in your party, they can do a special attack together. Monster Hunter Stories wrapped up pretty much all of its story content quite nicely, and it followed the anime for the most part. I like to see a brand new cast of characters in the sequel, as well as a new setting. One idea that I think has a lot of potential is the game taking place within the New World, aka Monster Hunter World's location. It might be interesting to have it cover the fleets that had arrived prior to the story in Monster Hunter World. You could be an explorer going through various new environments with missions to capture and hatch new monsters. Perhaps there could be sort of a town management section of the game where you build up and flesh out Astera, the town from World. Of course, it has to be deeper and more creative than that, but I think it would be a great backdrop for an adventure. Alright, this one's kind of important for an international release, but it's also kind of common sense. Please use a professional localization team. Monster Hunter Stories didn't have the tightest localization of parts, and included a few too many cat puns and had really long drawn-out text where it wasn't exactly necessary. It's fine to have puns and quirky characters, but don't overdo it. Keep it simple. So after the game is greenlit, first impressions are really everything, so it's important to control how you reveal the game. Using my amateur wisdom and gut reactions, I created a simple step-by-step action plan for releasing the game. Step 1. Port Monster Hunter Stories 1 to other platforms. You guys may already be doing this since you had just recently released Monster Hunter Stories on Android and iOS devices, but you know what that means? That means you already have HD assets. You don't need to go through and spend all this time remaking models or textures, and the game is already suited to one screen. So here's what you do. Port the game to Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC, but make it a real budget price. It is an old 3DS game after all, maybe like $15 or $20 or something like that. This will build hype for the game because everybody wants more Monster Hunter right now, and 15 or 20 bucks is a nice price. Make sure you guys have cross-play battles so the PvP section doesn't turn into a dead zone 3 weeks after launch. And also maybe implement a few of the graphical upgrades like I mentioned previously, some bloom, maybe a couple reworked textures just because some are a little bit blurry, and higher resolution shadows for sure. Step 2, start development. We want this game to be developed efficiently, but also not rushed, by reusing assets in the engine from Stories 1 and creating assets for new monsters and environments where necessary. I think this would expedite the game development process. Whatever you do, don't let the press or internet know that the game is being created yet. Announcements made too early are annoying and they create unnecessary expectations. Step 3, announce Monster Hunter Stories 2 and advertise it. When the game is a few months out from being completed, jump on the bandwagon and leak the game to the outlets that cover rumors. The internet seems to love all manner of leaks no matter what it's about, so this is a great way to build hype. When you make the official announcement for Stories, make sure you get a really flashy trailer that emphasizes the new features, but doesn't give away too much. We want there to be some surprise. First impressions really are everything, and it needs to be not boring, not cringy, or insulting towards your audience.
Cry like an anime fan on prom night.
Give a realistic release date, and if feasible, bundle in a digital copy of Stories 1 for pre-orders. Step 4, release and support the game. After it's done, release the game. In an ideal world, Stories 2 would release in all regions at the same time or within a few weeks of each other. I'd prefer a physical copy, but if you're trying to lower costs, just release it on digital storefronts. Be confident in your product and give plenty of review copies, and give reviewers and journalists lots of time to actually complete and review the game. Take any feedback into consideration with the day 1 patch, and please support the game after. Stories 1 had lots of DLC in Japan, but those outside of Japan were largely unable to experience some of the cooler ones. So I think that was everything I wanted to cover. I mean, I know I personally would love to see a sequel, and I think I'm not the only one when I say that. And who knows, it might be a good idea to localize some of the other Monster Hunter spin-off games to see how they perform. Maybe that feline puzzle game? I don't know. Anyway, that's all. See ya! Hey, thanks for watching. Keep in mind that this is just a fun little video and I'm not an actual game developer or a marketer or anything like that, so I don't know how feasible these ideas are. But tell me this, do you want to see another Monster Hunter Stories game? If so, what's your wish list for new features and ideas? Let me know down in the comments and hit that subscribe button for more Monster Hunter and other video game videos. See ya!